Hello, my name's Steve Barrett. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of PR Week. I'm delighted to be here with Dusty Tucker-Jenkins, who's VP of Communications at Target. Dusty, welcome to PR Week. Thanks for joining us today. You're in town in New York City for Fashion Week, but before we go and talk about that, you've got some exciting things going on there. Tell us a bit about Target and your roots as a company. It's your 50th year, based in Minneapolis, and that very much informs the culture of the company and the way you do business, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And first and foremost, thanks for having me, Steve. Thrilled to be here. Target was founded 50 years ago in Minneapolis, one of our first stores just outside of Minneapolis. It's a great company, a tremendous company, and really since its inception has been focused on giving back to the community. So Target every week, 5% back to the community. So today that equates to about $3 million a week. So it's an incredible commitment, and it goes to everything from education, reading, the schools, to the arts. And I would say that it's really at the heart of who we are as a corporation. You know, Target is focused on its team and its communities, and we really believe that when you support a community, when you give back, you create a better place to do business. You build better leaders for tomorrow. So it really is at the heart of who we are.
And can you trace that through to your customers and the way they perceive you and the way they interact with you and indeed buy from you?
Absolutely. Day in and day out, we hear from our guests that they think it is so important that Target supports their communities. So for example, we have one program at Target where you can actually sign up each and every time you shop the store to give back to a school that you choose. So if you have young children, it's a great way to make sure that that money is going back to that school. And that can go toward computers, new technology, and we all know that times are tough. Budgets are stretched, teachers are making do with a lot less. And so we want to be sure that we're putting every single child on the path to graduation, and education is an important part of that.
And it's a bit of a theme of Minneapolis overall, isn't it? There are a surprising number of Fortune 100 companies there, and the culture of giving back seems to pervade a lot of businesses there. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Yes, Steve, we are in great company in Minneapolis. You've got great companies, incredible companies who really also focus on supporting the community. So if you were to walk around Minneapolis, and I'm fairly new to the city, I'm constantly amazed at how that comes to life. So it could be through the arts, it could be through a park that you stumble upon, and you'll look at sort of the placard and you'll see how many different companies contributed to that. It's also in the workforce, it's in how people do business, it's how they interact with each other. It's a great city, it's an incredible city, and you really see that at the heart of that are the many corporations that support the city.
And this year, not too much snow to cover it all up.
Oh, lucky, yes. Someone's been nice to me. I don't know that my thin Texas blood was ready for chilly Minneapolis.
Tell us a bit about Fashion Week. That's not something a few years ago you would have necessarily associated with a brand like Target. Tell us about how you're getting involved in Fashion Week and working with designers.
Well, we have been very fortunate. Designer collaborations and that history of designer partnerships is really something we've dabbled in, worked with for the last several years. You probably heard a little something about our partnerships with groups like Missoni. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the big ones that we're just coming off of. And just Sunday, we launched Jason Wu for Target. I'm pleased to be wearing a Jason Wu for Target blouse. And what I would say is it's not simply enough to sit back and observe. Target is a major player in this industry. We pride ourselves on really understanding what our guests want. And they're saying to us that they love a taste of something special, a taste of something unique. And in the case of Jason Wu, something that would typically cost our guests thousands of dollars, and for some, maybe totally out of reach. So if we can give a little piece of that to someone for the great price of $49.99, that's always a good deal. So we're here, we're observing, we're meeting with editors, we're just understanding sort of the ins and outs of Fashion Week and everything that makes fashion credibility important in this industry.
Good, we're getting some key messages in there. That's good work, Dusty. Yeah, so it's like designer clothes at affordable prices, I guess. And you'll have a fashion show today, actually, this Friday with Jason.
Yes, we are really excited. We launched Jason Wu on Sunday, and we'll actually be taking Jason Wu into Canada. So we hosted a pop-up event here, and we will be taking Jason Wu into Canada. That invitation went out. It actually goes out Friday. And so what we're going to be looking to do is host our first ever pop-up store. In January of last year, we announced that we were going to be expanding internationally for the first time in Target's history. So it's a really exciting endeavor. And we've heard from Canadians, they don't want Target light, they want Target. They want the full Target experience. And what better way to really start showing them what that is than to bring one of our most popular designer collaborations to Canada. So we will be hosting a pop-up store in Toronto on the 23rd, and those invitations go out today.
Fantastic. And that's a precursor to launching about 150 stores by 2013. How do you go about, from a communications point of view, obviously that takes a lot of planning, how are you going about constructing a strategy to go into a new market like that from a communications standpoint?
I think the first and probably most important point was really listening and learning. We didn't want to go in and say that we had all the answers, because we don't. We're entering a new country with a different way of doing things, and we want it to be really respectful. We want to create a Target that they will love. So one of the great things about Target is that you'll often hear people say, my Target. And it really is their Target in their neighborhood, in their community, is special to them because they know how to navigate around the store. They know that they're going to have their favorite items that they might not have in a different Target. And so we really wanted to create that for Canadians. We wanted them to feel like it was their Target. So we've met with them, we've really listened to them. I've met with many journalists across the country. And the one thing that they've said to us over and over is, we can't wait. So it's really exciting to see and understand the passion that they have for the brand. And 2013 for them and for us cannot come soon enough.
So that's very exciting, but it also gives your competitors, if they know you're coming in at such a long lead time like Walmart, they're going to respond to that. How do you make sure that you can be competitive and still compete in that marketplace?
Well, if you think about Target store, we have many different competitors across the store. So we've recently introduced grocery in the last several years. So if you think about our P-Fresh department, we compete with grocers. If you think about our pharmacies, we compete with standalone pharmacy stores. If you think about our fashion department, we're competing with department stores in many cases. So if you were to go across Target, you would understand that we have different competitor sets across the store. And the thing about it is, we look at it and we say, we're competing against ourselves. We are always focused on doing what's new and what's next. And we'll do something really big and exciting, and then we're looking at what could we do next. So when we were focused on Missoni and we were announcing Missoni and the public was responding to Missoni in such an exciting way, we were then planning for Jason Wu. So we have plenty of exciting things in store, and we're really thrilled about Canada.
Sounds good. And just to finish, I mean, everybody's investing a lot in social media, but it's important to sort of get a proper payback from that activity and not just concentrate on a number of likes or number of Twitter follows, what have you. How are you making sure that you take it beyond the likes and the followers and actually drive real engagement?
You know, social media will continue to be exciting and challenging for brands, understanding, measuring social media. What we've heard overall, and we're very proud to have lots and lots of engaged fans on Facebook, engaged fans on Twitter. But at the end of the day, what we've heard from people is they want more. It's not just a bite of information. They want to go a little bit deeper. Maybe they want a snack, and in some cases, maybe they want a whole meal. So we have launched a site called A Bullseye View, which is a lot of fun for us. And it enables us to really take people behind the scenes of the brand. So it's storytelling at its best. And it's also enabled us to create sort of a sense of transparency across the company. So whether that's a sit-down Q&A with a leader, it could be going behind the scenes of, most recently, our Jason Wu campaign, understanding the inner workings of what went into the commercial shoot, or doing a Q&A with Jason Wu to understand why he partnered with Target. So it really enables us to tell the story of who Target is, the heart of the company through community giving and support, and also the fun things that people know and love, the surprising delight piece of Target. So we're really excited. The site is also tied to a Twitter channel called A Bullseye View as well. So definitely take a look.
I will check it out. But just a final question on that. You're becoming a content owner as a brand. Who's producing that content? Is it you in-house? Do you use agencies to help you with that, or is it a mixture?
So a number of people contribute to the site. As you can imagine, we don't want it to be stories in one particular segment. So we're really focused on telling stories across the business. So those agency partners on that business, so in the case of education, it might be an agency partner like Emory partnering with our team. In the case of the site itself, it's supported by Group SJR out of New York, and they actually help us put together the site. And then we have a team of people on the PR team that work on it day in and day out. But the stories come from across the company, because we know that people don't just want to hear about one part of Target. The thing that makes Target great is there's so many different ways to experience the brand.
All right, well, Dusty, thanks for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of Fashion Week.
Thank you, Steve. I look forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah, that's my favourite part of the year, as you can imagine.